Ladies and gentlemen, as we all know, Destiny 2 is going down, like crash and burn kind of down. And today I wanted to talk about some of the issues. Now, if you're a Destiny 2 player and you've been living under a rock, you think the game is all hunky-dory, peachy and everything, it's not. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. And then towards the end of the video, I'm going to talk about some potential ideas that might fix the game for the future, for Renegades, hopefully, because I feel like that's kind of the new make or break for Destiny 2. We've had like 15 different make or breaks, but hopefully this is the one. So Destiny 2 is becoming a dumpster fire, which for someone who has thousands of hours put into the game, an aspiring Destiny 2 content creator, it really does hurt to say this. And I genuinely mean that. Hot take, I know, but I want Destiny 2 to succeed so bad. And I want nothing more than greatness for this game. But Bungie is really making it hard to make this game enjoyable. And that all kind of stemmed from when Edge of Fate dropped. We were introduced to this new portal-like activity, which is basically where Crucible, dungeons, and Nightfalls, and all that other stuff live, and that is going to be the end game, the new power grind for the game. Little did we know that it really just complicated things even more. When it was first introduced, it looked great on paper. It was like, okay, cool, so now we have all of our Crucible stuff, we have all the dungeon stuff, we have all of the Nightfall stuff, and now we've even kind of like bunched them up even more to where it's less confusing to navigate. And it's kind of terrible. Yes, for some instances it's great. If you're just a solo player and you want to go do a couple solo activities for like 10-15 minutes, they have that. But let's say you wanted to do a Nightfall, you wanted to do it with other people, you have to do an LFG. And nowadays LFGs, the fire team finders, whatever it's called in the game now, it's really hard to get anybody on your skill level, on your level, really. They only make like 2 or 3 of them matchmaking a day, and whenever you look into that fire team playlist, that could be one strike, one mission, maybe a battleground, and then everything else is just non-matchmaking. Either you got to do it solo or you have to do it like I said, in the fire team. And diving a little bit deeper into that, this whole new power scaling thing is it's just abysmal. It really is. From someone who on week 1 would go balls to the wall hard grinding to get that max gear level. Now, granted, at the time, it was only increased by like 10 or 20 every single seasonal reset or whatever. It was pretty easy, even with the fact that you could only get 1 drop from 1 activity on 1 character per week. And now it's a farmable thing, but even when it's farmable, it's just terrible. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. When I saw that it was going to be farmable and that like, oh, I could just sit there and grind this activity over and over and over, this is going to be great. Like, I'll hit this power in no time. And boy, was I wrong. Now, I am diving a little bit more into the power issue of the game, and I want to save that for a little bit further into the video. But going back to the whole portal thing, I personally just don't like it. I get why accumulating everything together was somewhat of a good idea, but man, it is just terrible. And the whole scaling of level and the banes and everything, I really think that made everything that more confusing, because now you're having to scale certain things, not even your own liking, not even to the way you want to play the game, to how you can get the most efficient gear. The whole A plus B system, it is terrible. I cannot stand it. And again, that dives into power, which I guess I might as well go into. The power grind is the worst state it has ever been in Destiny 2. So when Edge of Fate dropped, we were all dropped back down to 10 power, and then we were told that 450 was the next highest. So if you were to go do the campaign, you go from 10 to basically to 200, and then you go from 200 to 400, which is your powerful grind where you get like +3s, +2s, blah, 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 blah. And then from 400 to 450 was your pinnacle grind. And then about 2-ish months later, they upped it from 450 to 550, which basically made it to where if you were to go from 450 to 500, that's the new power grind, and then 500 to 550 is the pinnacle grind. It's a lot, I know, but stay with me. We all thought that the power grind was going to be something that was super simple-ish, right? It wasn't going to take a whole lot of time to get to that 400 level. It feels like as you progress more for playing the game and grinding out these activities, you get rewarded less. So basically, when you're going from 10 to 200, anything in the world drops, so you can get easily 200. That 200 to 400 power initially, now 200 to 500, is this power grind where you have to do Crucible, Vanguard strikes, all that stuff within the portal. And it's like, okay, when you start from 200, you're getting, like +3s for getting a grade on an activity, which at that low grade, it's pretty easy. But as you go up, and someone who's around 430, I think right now, I basically have to put on every single hard modifier just to get a +1. just a +1. And yes, I know it makes sense. You know, once you hit that pinnacle kind of gap thing, that should be the bulk of the power grind. But the pinnacle really isn't the bulk of the power grind. It has its own issues, and we'll get into that in just a second, but the power grind itself, so from 200 to currently 500, it's terrible. It feels like the more you play, the less you get rewarded, the less the gear is going to be. And sure, there are a couple activities where it's like, okay, this will give you 2 things, this will give you 3 things, and then this will only give you 1 thing. But even then, what if you have gear that it doesn't help at all? Well, now I just wasted 15 to 20 minutes. And yes, again, I know that's how the old Destiny system used to work. At least, you know, if I did that activity and I didn't get anything, I had to wait till the next week, and I didn't have to worry about sitting there for 4 more hours trying to get it. It's just there's so much with the power system that's wrong, and Bungie has acknowledged it. Before Ash and Iron dropped in September, they said that they were going to be working on the portal, working on the power grind. And I remember the first week of Ash and Iron, it was not fixed. I think they made it worse for a period of time because of the whole new scaling factor from 450 to 550. It completely threw off the game, and that made the power grind that much worse. And again, someone who hadn't even hit 450 yet, it's terrible. I don't see the point in just sitting there for 4 hours and maybe getting +5 on my gear. Now, the only beneficial side to this, and this is not me like trying to dick ride or anything like that, the only beneficial side to this is that it does carry across every single character. So like, you don't have to go do all of this again on your Hunter or all this again on your Titan. You can play all the way on your Warlock, and then you can just go claim armor in the season pass, or you can go do an activity and then you'll get gear at that level to drop. That is like the one nice thing that I did like with this update, I guess. But everything else, not so much. The power grind is just, it makes you not want to play the game anymore, which is funny because I believe that was like the whole goal for this, but like now it just you don't want to play the game. And then there's the new armor system, tiered armor, tiered weapons. Now, I'm going to kind of split those in half for a second here because I see good and bad. The tier weapons, I love the tiered weapons. I love that the tier 5 weapon can have a hollow foil, which just makes the gun look better. And you have, I think, between 3 selections for perks 1 and perks 2, and even perk 3, I believe. So it gives you more variety and a better chance to get the god roll of weapons at the higher tiers you get. I do love tiered weapons. I hate tiered armor. Tiered armor has been the worst thing ever in Destiny armor. Like, they had the armor 2.0 system, and that was way better. It was light years better. You could focus on certain stats, you could do certain things, and you could make crazy builds. And, you know, yes, you got lower stats for a bunch of other things, but like, you could focus this one stat. Now, since they basically changed how the armor stats work, and this whole new tiered armor thing, how it only does 3 of the stats at a time, it's terrible for builds. At least in my experience, it's been terrible for builds. I cannot stand it. And not only that, there are certain types of armor that you can have. And what I mean by that is there's like grenader guns. Like, there are certain mods that get you to drop armor for a higher version of a stat. So the 6 stats I believe there are now, you could put a ghost mod on, and then there are different types that are built for stuff like that. Whereas before, it was just, okay, I would focus resilience, or I would focus this, and I'd get up to 100. And I should also mention that if you don't know, the armor system now goes all the way up to 200, which is, again, a whole thing in itself. But now I have this whole thing where I have to get tier 5 of every single armor underneath every single branch that my ghost mod has. So basically, I need like 6 different versions of the same tier 5 armor in order to make builds happen. I do like in the armor system that if you have like 2 of the pieces equipped, you get a bonus for having that. And if you have like almost a full set equipped, you do get a bonus for that. I think that's amazing. But I think that they, instead of condensing the armor grind and grinding out for certain armor pieces, they just expanded it and made it even worse. On top of that, with a system that just made the power grind even worse, it's kind of like, it's an overload of what do I do? In theory, I shouldn't be complaining because there is so much to do in Destiny, but it's painful to do it. It's just like, oh my God, I feel like I have to give up my entire life. Like, I gotta quit my job to do this grind now. It's absolutely insane. And I think it's gone way above and beyond. And this is coming from someone who wanted a grind kind of like this, not exactly like this, but kind of like this. But also, Bungie has stated that they wanted to make this a more casual game. This is not a casual game anymore. This is nowhere near a casual game. And again, as a veteran Destiny 2 player, someone wanting to be a Destiny 2 content creator, I shouldn't be complaining. But when you see other people like Datto, Grenader Jake, Asdacross starting to talk about these issues within the community, the big heavy hitters, I feel like it's important that everybody really talks about this. So yes, this is why the small content creator is making this video. So all right, there are 2 more things I want want to talk about that are bad with this game, and then we'll move on to the positives. Has anybody noticed that like the game servers have been like shit lately? Is it just me? I know I've had some problems with my internet here, but after doing a bunch of different things with my internet, like changing out the modem, having my internet company come out, which is exactly what Bungie recommends you do if you have the certain error codes that are popping up on screen, there was no issue on the internet side. Like there was nothing. And so I think Bungie had a point in the Ash and Iron update, because this is when it all started, where the servers were just terrible for most people. And I would go scour and look at the help form page, and I noticed a bunch of different error codes just popping up since Ash and Iron, like the taper codes where it was kind of region locked for most people. And I was reading into some people having error issues but having solid internet and all that other stuff. It just felt like that the servers are even dying down, like they're not even paying attention to the status of their servers. And I know that this has always been kind of a thing with Bungie, is every single update something happens that breaks the game, whether it be good or bad, but like their server stability is just terrible. Let me know down in the comments below if you have like had any server issues lately where you're just like in the middle of a game and then boom, you're out for no reason. And then the last thing, and I'm not gonna go too far into this because I don't know too much of it, but when Iron Banner dropped about a week or so ago, they had advertised this armor set that was gonna be coming out, but you had to pay money for it, but they said it was gonna be free or something like that. And basically Bungie got caught with their pants down, and it just kind of showed that like they're all in it for the money before the player experience. They just want the money and they don't care about the player experience. And that kind of goes along with the server thing. They want you to get all these different pre-orders that they have, but they don't want to focus on the health of the game as it goes on. It's like, hey, we got these really cool stuff, lightsabers, everybody, pew, 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 you know, all that stuff. But we're not going to use any of that money to make our game better as we add in more stuff. It's like, oh, we have all these big ideas. We have like this giant pool of ideas, and we're just going to keep filling and filling and filling, and uh-oh, we're getting overloaded, but we don't want to grow with it because that means we got to spend our money. We got to spend our billions and millions of dollars to do this because we are a billion-dollar company, and now we have to do this. We don't want to do that. Instead, we're just going to hope that maybe players die down, maybe they stop playing more, and that kind of gives some more fluctuity of people joining in. So I hate to say it, and I don't want to be blacklisted or whitelisted or whatever from Bungie by saying this, but they are just money hungry. That's all they are. They have always been money hungry, putting all the really, really good stuff behind super high paid walls and teasing it and advertising it like, oh yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, here's $100. Give me $100. And I get it. That's what you need to do as a free game, because we all have to remember Destiny 2 is technically a free game to play. But when they do these things advertising that like, hey, you're going to get this for free, and then they realize everyone's like, oh my God, this is so cool, this is so amazing, and be like, yeah, we're actually going to take that back, put it behind a paywall because we see how much you guys want this. So I think that's just a cop-out. I think that's just a scam. And I personally, I can't stand that, man. And it's just something, and I'm guilty of it, dude. I cave in all the time. I'd be spending all my money. I buy the yearly pass every single year, and then I'm like, oh no, the game's going to shit, dude. What do I do? Kind of deal. But I still am a firm believer that this game can be good, and I still want this game to be good. So there are 3 things that I think can start to fix a majority of the issues that I listed. There are plenty of other issues that I haven't listed, and if you want to hear more about that, you definitely should go check out some of the other content creator videos, because I know I'm not the only one that is talking about this. But the number one thing, this goes with the portal grind, this goes with the power grind, this goes with the overall grinding system of Destiny 2 right now. Before we get into it though, I do need to say, if you don't know, when Renegades drops in December, whatever power level you are, let's say you grind all the way to 550, you will be reset to 200. That has been a thing that Bungie has said. We want to keep that power system fresh and going, and not just up at 10 power every single, season or whatever. So now they're just going to basically take all your hard, many hours, dozens of hours into grinding, and we're just going to bring you all the way back down. I think there needs to be a way to not necessarily do that. I think that maybe, sure, go back down if you don't want to keep the power grind, power number going up, because that's the whole reason we got reset. I think what they need to do is implement Guardian ranks into this, because Guardian ranks was supposed to be this big system that showed how good of a player you were and would power you up with people on your same level, and that did not work at all. It was a swing and a miss, and now you just have this Guardian rank thing being here, I guess, just for look, to be like, oh, that guy's level 11, he's a really good player of the game, or that guy's level 6, he must not play the game a whole lot. I think what they need to do with Guardian rank is, if you hit the max level, so let's say level 11, I believe is the highest Guardian rank, and let's say they keep the 550 max power, right? So once we get all reset back down 200, you can go up to 550. If you hit Guardian rank 11, you should only be knocked down to 500. If you hit at guardian rank 10, you should only be knocked down to 450. As you're going down in guardian rank, you go down like 50 level or something like that. Whatever math it does from the reset of guardian rank to the highest guardian rank. Guardian rank needs more purpose. This is something that Bungie was very, very big on, making sure that like the players use this. And then as soon as they realized players weren't going to use it, they just threw their hands up and said, I'm done. We're not doing anything with this. So I definitely think guardian ranks have to have more of a purpose. And what other way to make it more meaningful than to do something like that, to actually implement it into the power system grind? Because now let's say Renegades comes out, oh, all I have to do now is just grind that 50 for Pinnacle, and Pinnacle being the longest grind because you don't get a guaranteed Pinnacle after completing every single activity, which is something I didn't mention at the beginning, and that's sorry. The second thing, and this is more along the lines of the server side issues, the bugs that happen every single week, that kind of stuff. Well, it's kind of a two-parter now that I'm thinking about it. One is to just shut the system down for a week. Okay, when Fortnite moved from chapter 1 to chapter 2, they shut down for a couple days, if not a week, because they knew it was going to be a big change and they knew a lot was going to happen. So they took it down, did testing, all this other stuff, so that whenever players logged in the first day, they would get that great experience and not have to deal with bugs and all this other stuff. I think Bungie and Destiny 2 is at a state where you could take the game down for a week and you don't have to worry about players leaving and never coming back. If anything, that would make the players return to the game because they see that you're putting in the work and the dedication to fixing the health of the servers. And I think they recently did that where there were a bunch of error code issues and they literally basically just power cycled the servers, which actually fixed my issue. So I'm not going to complain with that, but that right there shows they have got to either take these servers down, do some work on them. That maybe we don't play Destiny 2 for a week, whatever. What's the difference? You have a bunch of players leaving right now. What's the difference in taking the server down now and trying to fix it for about a week or two? I don't see any problem with that. I think a week before Renegade, they need to take the servers down and they just need to get ready for the fluctuation of people, especially if they are pushing this whole Star Wars collab narrative. They have got to take the servers down and do some work on them. Or the second thing that I was thinking of while I was making this video, they need new servers. I know the Bungie servers are super old that they're working on right now. They just need to straight up replace them and fix them, okay? Because they're working on some old stuff. A lot of games are moving to Unreal Engine. A lot of games are moving to these bigger engines and these bigger servers where Bungie is just sticking with what they got until it burns to the ground. Maybe even after it burns to the ground, they'll still find a way to use the same servers. I don't know. But again, that goes with the whole money hungry thing and that the fact they don't want to spend money for player experience. They just want to keep all that money, which begs the question, where does all that money go? Does it go to the workers? Because in my opinion, if you're working for Bungie and you're making bad games like this, you don't need to be paid a whole lot. Now, I think you need to be paid for your work and your time and all that stuff. I think you need to be paid a good bit. But I'd love to know what the average salary is of a Bungie employee right now working on Destiny 2. And I know it's going to fluctuate from various departments, but still, where's all this money going? Is it going into new games? It might be going into Destiny Rising, which is having a way better player experience from my understanding of that game. And it's a mobile game. It is a mobile game that is outplaying a console game and a PC game that has been out for almost a decade. Let that sink in for a second, okay? Or it might be going into Marathon, which will only crash and burn within a month because, again, it is a Bungie-led game. So I want to know where all this money's going, and I want to know why we're not using it to fix the servers. And the last thing is, and this is kind of just, again, the most blunt thing I can say, and it's probably like the least amount of suggestive help for them. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to fix the power grind, you're going to make these changes for the portal, do it. If you say you're going to release these armor sets for free, do it. Say what you mean. Look, at the end of the day, I love this game. It has been a huge part of my content creating, my life, and that's weird to say, but it has been a huge part of who I am. I love this game. I love the story. I love the feel of playing it. I want to continue to play it, but Bungie makes it so hard to play this game, which is why I kind of stepped away from making Destiny 2 content on the channel, because I know I make a bunch of short content. I used to make a bunch of videos, but I kind of stepped away from that. I started more focusing into platinum trophies, which is something I'm very well known for playing because I have over 100 of them, and I love that you guys are loving it. I'm going to continue those platinum trophy videos, but I also play Destiny 2 a lot throughout the day and the week. So over on Twitch is where I'm normally streaming all of that. You should definitely go follow me, by the way. But it's hard to make content out of this game. The only thing I can make content on in Destiny is talking about how bad the game is right now. And I don't want to do that. I don't want Bungie to look at me and be like, yeah, this guy's talking about how bad we are. We need to punish him in every way possible, because I definitely think they do that. But that's That's just me. I want this game to thrive. I want this game to be what it is. And we can sit here as a community and all day long and say all these things, but I really think the action has to be, we have got to put our foot down. We have to show Bungie that we can walk the walk and talk the talk. Right now, we're just talking. We're not doing anything. And I applaud Grenader Jake. I applaud Dado. I applaud everybody who has actively stepped down from a game that has basically funded their lives and may ruin that a little bit, may harm that. So I applaud them for doing that. Will I step away from Destiny 2? I don't know. I really don't know. Right now, I'm at a point where I'm not even doing the power grind. I'm just going in, I'm doing the weekly event, the weekly challenges, and then I'm out. I go play other games. I go have fun doing other things. And that's kind of the length I'm at with Destiny 2. It's just not fun. The power grind's not worth it at the end of the day because, again, it's going to get reset. And I don't know, but I love the feeling of Destiny 2. I love that style of game, and I love the story, and I love all these things, and I love the gunplay. I love the game so much. Look, I just wanted to make this video to talk about these things if you haven't heard them already, or maybe you want to hear another person's opinion. If you have anything to say in the comments below to Bungie or just how you feel about the game, let me know. I'd love to hear what other people are thinking about this game, where they're at with this game, if they're going to continue to play it between now and Renegades, or whenever Renegade comes out, maybe people return. I don't know. I'm still going to probably play the game. So like I said, if you want to watch me play it and you want more of my hot takes live, make sure you guys are following my Twitch. I do greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, do drop a like, hit that subscribe button for me if you do enjoy Destiny 2 content. I'm going to try to scrounge around some content, but I can't make any promises. I have a bunch of short content that is going to come out with Destiny 2, so I guess if you like that kind of stuff, hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you have all the way to the end, comment what class you are in Destiny 2 to let me know that you've made it all the way to the video, because you deserve something special, Pookie. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, you guys know me. It's been your boy, SirJB. Get at me, everybody.